In the year 3179, humans were not in control anymore. Aliens ruled the galaxy. Machines ran the cities. And humans, most of them were poor, jobless, and forgotten. In the dark streets of Sector 19, a girl named Rhea walked alone. She had no food, no job, and no home. Her face was tired, her body weak, her eyes full of silent pain. Rhea had spent the last 3 days asking for work. She knocked on the door of a factory. A tall alien opened it. 4 eyes, green skin. "I need a job," she said. The alien looked at her, then laughed. "You can't even lift a toolbox," he said. "Get lost, weak human." The door closed in her face. She went to another play-sized space repair station. "Please." She begged the android at the front desk. "I can clean, carry, do anything." The android scanned her body. Its red eyes blinked. Human strength, below average. Health, poor. Mental stability, uncertain. Application rejected. Rhea stood still for a moment, then turned around and walked away. One by one, every door closed. It had always been this way. After the human collapse, people like her were seen as trash. Some humans worked as cleaners, servants, or lab rats. Others just disappeared. That evening, Rhea sat near a power vent to stay warm. Her stomach growled. She hadn't eaten in 2 days. Rain fell from the gray sky, washing the dirt off her shoes. She looked up at the stars. Somewhere, long ago, humans were the rulers. Now, they were nothing. She whispered to herself, "Is this all I'll ever be?" Just then, a shadow appeared. Beside her, she turned quickly. It was a tall android black metal. No face, only a glowing blue light where eyes should be. It didn't speak. It simply extended its hand, in its fingers. A card. Rhea took it slowly. The card had only a few words. Section 13. Human Testing Unit, come alone. Do not tell anyone. She looked up, but the android was gone. Vanished into the rain. Her heart beat faster. Human testing, she whispered. What does that mean? But deep inside, she already knew. People said strange things about Section 13. Some said it was a lab. Others said it was a prison. Some said no one ever came back. But they also said something else. Section 13 pays in food, credits, and shelter. If you survive, Rhea held the card tightly. It was her only chance. That night, she walked to the old metro tunnel. There was no light, only silence. The card had a small chip. She touched it against the tunnel scanner. A door opened. Cold air blew from inside. She stepped in. The door shut behind her. Her legs shook, but she kept walking. Down the stairs, into the unknown. Metal walls surrounded her. Cameras moved silently. No one spoke. No one greeted her. At the bottom, another door opened. She entered a white room. Bright lights, a table, and another android. This one spoke. Subject, identified. Human female, age, 23 status. Desperate. Rhea stood straight. I want to work. The android looked at her. You are weak, but useful. If you agree to the test program, you will receive food, housing, and protection. Do you accept? What's the test? She asked. The android tilted its head. Full body integration. You will no longer be 100% human. Are you willing to offer your body? Her breath stopped for a moment. Offer her body. What did that mean? But her stomach growled again. She was tired, alone, broken. Rhea nodded. I agree. The android placed a thin screen in front of her. Sign with your thumb. She pressed her thumb on the screen. The contract was accepted. Then, without warning, something sharp hit her neck. She gasped. What was that? The android replied, "First injection complete. You will sleep now." The room began to spin. Her legs gave out. She collapsed. Darkness swallowed her, her last thought before blacking out. What have I done? Darkness. That's all she saw. No dreams, no sounds, just floating. Then a sound, a slow beep, then another. And another. Ria's eyes opened. Blinding white light surrounded her. She was lying on a cold metal bed, her arms strapped down. Needles were still in her veins. Her clothes were gone, replaced by a thin gray suit. She tried to speak. Her voice was dry. "Where am I?" A calm voice answered from above. "Welcome to Section 13. Ria turned her head. Floating near the ceiling was a drone with a blinking blue eye. It watched her like a machine studying a broken toy. "You were unconscious for 72 hours, it said. "Your body has accepted the first stage of enhancement." "Enhancement?" she whispered. I didn't agree to this." "You offered your body," the drone replied. And just like that, Ria remembered. The card, the lab, the contract. The needle. She sat up, her heart racing. But something felt strange. Her body light, her mind clear. Her hunger was gone. Pain. Gone too. She stood and looked at her arms, veins glowing faintly under the skin. Her fingertips had small silver dots like ports. "What did you do to me?" she said. "Stage 1 complete," the drone replied. "Your muscles have been reinforced. Nerve speed increased by 300%. The drone paused. "You are version 1.3 of yourself. Improved, but not complete." A door opened behind her. Bright blue lights led the way through a clean hallway. As she walked, strange feelings filled her. She could hear machines behind the walls. She could feel the floor, vibrating from power underneath. Her senses were stronger. Sharper. Something was changing. The hallway opened into a large, dome-like lab. Tubes filled with blue liquid surrounded the walls. Inside those tubes, floating bodies. Some were humans, others were not. Some had claws, some had gills. One had no face. Ria stepped back. What is this? A tall figure entered from the shadows. Not an android, not a drone. A man whom in his skin was pale, and his eyes were strange, one red, one black. "You're awake," he said. "Good. Who are you?" She asked. "I'm Dr. Wheeler. I run Project Ascend." "Project what?" "Ascend," he repeated. "To take humans beyond human, to make sure we're not at the bottom forever." He walked closer. "You volunteered. You were chosen. You survived the next 2 stages. You'll be stronger than any alien in this galaxy." Ria frowned. "You're human. Why are you doing this to your own people?" Dr. Wheeler's face darkened. "Because they laughed at us. You've seen it, felt it. We're trash to them. My goal is to change that. One enhanced human at a time." She looked at the floating bodies. "How many survived?" 3, he said. "And the others?" He didn't answer. Instead, he handed her a mirror. "Look," he said. "See what you've become." She stared. At her reflection, her eyes were glowing faintly blue. Her skin had a slight shine, almost like armor. Her body was lean, powerful, controlled. She didn't look weak anymore. "You are no longer just a beggar," Wheeler said. "You are a weapon, a key, a future." She lowered the mirror. "I didn't ask for this." He smiled. "Maybe not, but now you have a choice. You can leave or continue. Complete the next 2 stages and become something the galaxy has never seen." Ria was silent. Then she asked the one question burning in her mind. "What happens if I say no?" Wheeler stepped back. "Then we wipe your memory. strip the enhancements, return you to the streets. Back to hunger, rejection. Begging Rhea looked again at the floating bodies. Some had smiles. Some looked like they had died screaming. She looked at her own hands, then she spoke. I'll continue. Wheeler nodded. The drone above her blinked twice. Stage 2 begins now. Suddenly alarms rang. A red light filled the lab. The drone spun in panic. Dr. Wheeler turned sharply. Subject 4 has escaped containment. A loud roar echoed through the halls. The ground shook. Glass shattered one of the tubes. Cracked hand, something large moved inside. Rhea stared in horror as claws pushed against the glass. Wheeler looked at her. You want to survive? Then run. Screams, sirens, shattered glass. The monster was free. Rhea ran behind her. The sound of metal tearing and guards shouting filled the halls of Section 13. She didn't look back. Her bare feet hit the cold floor faster than she ever remembered running. Her legs moved like machines. Her lungs didn't burn. Her vision stayed clear even in the flickering red emergency lights. Whatever they put in her. It worked. She turned sharply around a corner, slid under a closing security door, and crashed into a storage room. The door sealed behind her. Silence. She backed into the wall and tried to calm her breathing, but she wasn't out of breath. She wasn't even tired. What am I turning into? She whispered suddenly. The wall lit up. A screen blinked on Dr. Wheeler's face appeared. You're alive, he said, voice calm despite the chaos. Good. That means the upgrade is stable. What was that thing? Rhea shouted. T said I was safe. I said you had a choice, Wheeler replied. That thing was Subject 4. It failed the second upgrade. Became something, ... Else Rhea's fists clenched, and I'm next. Not exactly, Wheeler said. You're not like the others. You're the first to show complete control. The screen went black dot. Another door opened. Soft blue light poured in. She had two choices again. Go forward or go back. She stepped into the light. New room. Pure white. No. Doors, just a chair in the center and a single panel on the wall. Words appeared. Begin phase 2. Mind link simulation. Do not resist. The chair moved slightly, as if inviting her. She sat, a thin, crown-like device lowered onto her head. The moment it touched, her skin flashed. She was no longer in the room. She stood in open space, a black sky filled with stars. Floating. Planets, distant battles. And at the center, herself, glowing like a goddess, surrounded by machines, drones, and soldiers kneeling before her. She heard a voice in her head. This is who you could become. The future human. Half flesh. Code. All power. Then the image shattered like glass. She fell back into the chair. The screen changed again. Neural link successful. Combat upload complete. Reaction time upgraded. Rhea stood up. Suddenly, the wall to her left opened. A figure stepped in, tall. Female, bald. Skin covered in metallic plates. Eyes white and empty. A voice came from the speaker. You will now be tested. The figure rushed at her. No time to think. Rhea moved fast. Too fast, she blocked the first strike, dodged the second. She felt her body moving on its own, like it had already predicted the attack slam. She hit the other figure in the chest with one punch. Metal cracked. Sparks flew. The figure dropped. She stood, heart steady. Breath calm. The speaker echoed again. Strength increased by 400%. Reflex success rate, 98%. Neural sync, complete. The door opened again. Wheeler stood there, calm and smiling. You survived. No rage, no mutation. Just control. Rhea looked down at her hands. They looked normal, but they were not. Is this what I am now? She asked. A weapon. Vilar stepped forward. No, he said. You're an answer. They made us weak, I made you strong, and you're not alone anymore. He turned, gesturing for her to follow. Come, there's more you need to see. She followed. They walked down a long corridor. Rhea noticed symbols. On the walls, not human, not alien. A mix of both. At the end of the hall, a room full of monitors. Each screen showed a different location. Earth cities, alien markets, military bases. Docks full of ships. What is this? Rhea asked. VAR pointed to one screen. It showed a girl, thin, dirty, shivering, begging for food. That, VAR said, was you. He turned to another screen. A recording of Rhea's first test fight. Moving faster than bullets. Surviving what others couldn't. That, he said, is you now. Then he pointed to a third screen. It showed blueprints, larger body, weapons built into limbs, artificial skin. Flight, that, he whispered, is what you'll become next. Rhea stared at the screen. It looked nothing like her. Do I get a say in this? She asked quietly. Vela paused, double quotes. No. But you get something better. She raised an eyebrow. What? He smiled. A mission. Suddenly, the lights dimmed. An alarm sounded again, but this time, it wasn't inside the lab. Vela looked at the screen. An alien patrol just entered Sector 13, unauthorized. He turned to Rhea. Time to see what the upgrade can really do. Asterisk black sky. Bright lights. Enemy ship above Sector 13. Rhea stood in the center of the loading bay, silent and still. Her heart wasn't racing. Her hands weren't shaking. And for the first time in her life, she was not afraid. Dr. Veeler's voice echoed from the control tower above. Rhea, they are here. 5 soldiers, heavily armed. Scanners say they're here for tech extraction and possibly you. She didn't ask why. She already knew. She was no longer a person. She was a target. A tool, and tools are meant to be used. The first alien breached the side gate. Tall, red-scaled, armor glowing. A laser rifle in hand. Rhea moved without command. One jump, one strike. Crack. The alien hit the wall and didn't get up. Her body knew what to do. Before her mind gave the order to more enemies dropped from the ceiling, she spun, grabbed a pipe, and flipped over them. Her leg kicked one in the chest. Her hand crushed the other's gun. She wasn't fighting. She was executing, like a machine. Like a weapon. When the battle ended, all 5 were down. Not dead, just broken. Rhea stood among the silence, eyes glowing faintly. Breathing calmly, Bilar clapped slowly from the upper level. Perfect. No fear, no hesitation. The upgrade is complete. She didn't smile, didn't celebrate, just asked one question. Was that a test? Veeler nodded. Hand a message. To them and to you. If you walk down to her, calm and proud. You just took down an elite squad. The same species who laughed at us, who treated humans like dogs. Looked into her eyes. And now you've shown them what we can become. She looked around at the damage. The cracked walls, the blood, the silence. Is this what I am now? She asked. Your weapon? Veeler smiled. But it didn't reach his eyes. You are. What we all need. Later that night, Rhea sat alone in her assigned chamber. No windows. No clocks. Just metal walls and cold air. She stared at her. Hands, stronger, faster, cleaner, but something was missing. Feeling. She hadn't felt the pain of hitting the enemy. No joy in winning. No guilt, either. Just function, as if the upgrade was doing the fighting, not her. A soft voice broke the silence. You feel hollow, don't you? Rhea turned fast, ready to fight. A woman stood in the corner. Short, quiet, human. She wore the same gray suit. "Who are you?" Rhea asked. The woman stepped forward, her face tired, her eyes soft. "I'm Subject 11. I survived before you. I was their first success until you." Rhea narrowed her eyes. "What do you want?" "To warn you." The woman said, "They don't make soldiers here. They make slaves." Rhea stayed silent. Subject 11 sat beside her. "When they put me through stage 3, I stopped dreaming. Stopped laughing. My memories started disappearing. And then?" Rhea asked. "Then I stopped asking questions. I became what they wanted." She placed her hand over her heart. "And I lost what made me human." Rhea looked down. The silence between them was heavy. "So why are you telling me this now?" she asked. The woman smiled faintly. "Because I saw what you did out there. You fought like them, but your eyes still looked human." She stood to leave. "Don't let them take that." And then she was gone. The next day, Violaire brought Rhea to the operations center. Dozens of screens glowed, aliens, ships, outposts. "We've been hired," he said. "A private client. High pay. They want you." Rhea frowned. "Me? They saw your footage," he said. "They want a demonstration. A message sent. One alien general, alive or broken. Doesn't matter." Rhea didn't move. Wheeler stepped closer. "You're not a beggar anymore, Rhea. You're a blade. You cut where I point. And one day, you'll lead the rest." She looked at the screen. Target, General Thaz. A name known across 5 systems. A war hero, a killer. And now, her mission. She clenched her fists, but her thoughts drifted to the woman in the shadows. "They make slaves." Rhea turned her head toward Wheeler. "And what if I say no?" Wheeler's voice turned cold. "Then I'll find someone who won't." Later, inside the dropship, Rhea sat alone, armor on, earpiece in. Her body was ready, but her mind. She looked at her reflection in the ship's glass. "Who's in control now?" she whispered. The engines roared. Destination locked. The weapon was flying. The ship landed without sound. Dark sand, sharp wind. Sky full of red clouds. This was Exernine, a mining planet. And a prison in disguise. Rhea stepped out, slow and calm. Her mission was simple. Find General Thasic, break him, leave. But this time, something inside her didn't want to follow the orders. She walked past guards, past droids, past cameras. No one stopped her because everyone feared her. She was no longer human in their eyes. She was something else, something designed to kill. Inside the facility, she found her target. General Thazek. Tall, scars on his face. Sharp, yellow eyes. He sat in a chair, calm and waiting. "So you're the famous human weapon," he said, voice like gravel. "I was told you don't speak, that you just strike." Rhea stood still, but her hands didn't move. Not yet. He smiled. "They've turned you into a puppet. But I wonder, do you even know who's pulling the strings?" She said nothing. He stood. "Velo works for the Overmind Council. Do you think you're the only one?" Rhea blinked. "There are others like me," she asked. Thazek stepped closer. "Dozens, across the galaxy. Different models. Different upgrades. Same purpose, control." That word hit her like a hammer. Control. Her earpiece buzzed. Wheeler's voice, status report. "Why isn't he down?" She slowly reached to her Irant, crushed the earpiece in her fingers. Thazek grinned. "So, You do have some fire left. That night, she didn't return to the dropship. She stayed in the facility, thinking, watching, and that's when she saw her Subject 11 in the corner of the lower bay. Dressed as a cleaner, Rhea approached her. You followed me? The woman nodded. You hesitated. That means you're still one of us. Rhea whispered, How many are there? Too many, she replied. Most are asleep. Others. They've already forgotten their names. Rhea sat beside her. We have to stop this. The woman looked up. Then you're ready. The plan began. Step 1. Disconnect the implants. Subject 11 showed her the blueprints. Deep inside section 13 was the pulse core, a black crystal fused with alien tech. It kept every upgraded human linked to the system. It controlled dreams, emotions, memories. If they shut it down, every enhanced subject would wake up. Step 2. Reach the lab. Undetected, they couldn't walk in. So they needed help from inside. That's when Subject 11 introduced Jox, an android that had gone rogue. Programmed to serve, but now running its own code. It hated VELAR. JAX agreed to lead them through the underground tunnels. Old cargo. Routes, forgotten and unguarded. Rhea looked at the glowing map. If we fail, Subject 11 replied, then we stay weapons forever. Back at Section 13 to 3 days later, they returned in secret. Rhea wore her combat gear. But this time, not. For a mission. This time, for freedom. As Jox opened the tunnel hatch, he warned. Velar knows something. Cameras have been rerouted. Schedules shifted. There is a trap. Rhea tightened her fists. Then we'll break it. They moved fast through dusty shafts, past dead robots, through dark vents that hadn't been opened in years. At last. The pulse core room, the door, was open, too easy. They stepped in, and the lights shut off. Boom. Gas sprayed from the walls. JX collapsed first. Then Subject 11. Rhea staggered, but her new lungs filtered faster. She stayed standing. A slow clap echoed from the shadows. Velar stepped into the room. You disappoint me, Rhea. She growled. You lied. He smiled. I gave you purpose. You used me. I improved you, he said. Without me, you'd still be begging in the streets. Rhea took a step forward. You were never helping humanity. You were replacing it. Velar raised his hand. Dozens of defense drones floated down. Stand down. Come quietly, and I'll forgive this. Betrayal. She looked at Subject 11, barely conscious. She looked at the pulse core glowing, humming, and she made her choice. She ran straight toward it. Stop her. Velar screamed. But it was too late. Rhea leapt, full speed, into the air fists. Glowing eyes, burning crash. She punched through the crystal. It shattered. A blast of light filled the lab. Velar screamed. Every screen across Section 13 blinked. Every enhanced human jolted. Awake memories returning. Names, faces, feelings. The hive was broken. The puppets were free. Rhea collapsed beside the wreckage, breathing hard. Subject 11 crawled to her. You did it? Rhea looked at her with a soft smile. No more strings. Velar vanished in the chaos, but his war was just beginning. Asterisk, it started with a whisper. Across labs, prisons, testing bunkers across 5 systems, enhanced humans suddenly opened their eyes. They remembered who they were. Names, families, pain, dreams, the pulse. Core was broken, and the galaxy would never be the same again. Rhea sat on a medical bed, staring at her reflection in a cracked screen. Her armor was torn, her skin bruised, her eyes still glowing faint blue. But inside, she felt whole for the first time. Subject 11 sat beside her, wrapping her wounds. You saved us, the woman said softly. Rhea shook her head. I broke the chain. But we're still in the cage. News spread fast. Section 13 had fallen. Velor escaped. Dozens of humans awakened. Some ran, some hid. And some began to organize. They called themselves the Remembered, not soldiers, not test subjects, but survivors who now remembered everything. And they wanted revenge in the shadows of an old mining station on Munyara 6. Rhea stood before a group of 27 enhanced humans. Some had steel arms, some had glowing veins. All of them were silent, listening. Velor's not done, Rhea said. He's not just one man. He's part of a system, a project, a machine that turns people into weapons and throws them away. She looked them all in the eye. I won't let it happen again. If you're with me, we stop him. Not just for us, but for the ones who never woke up. They didn't cheer, they just nodded because warriors don't need noise. They need purpose. Meanwhile, across the stars, Velor knelt before a massive hologram, tall, golden, insect-like, the counselor of the Overmind. You lost Section 13, it hissed. Your humans rebelled. Velor lowered his head. Only a delay, counselor. The prototype still lives, and she's forming an army. Then crush her, the creature said. Send the hive ships. Erase them all. Velor smiled, gladly. 1 week later, on the edge of a dead planet called Mirat, a rebel signal went dark. No warning, no call, no survivors. Rhea knew what it meant. Velor had found them, and he was hunting. The Remembered began preparing for war. They trained in broken domes, stole supplies from cargo ships, hijacked small drones, and reprogrammed them. Rhea became their center. Their voice, not a leader by rank, but a leader by blood, by courage, by truth. They painted her symbol, a shattered chain, on their gear. Their ships, their walls. Then came the first real strike. Rhea led a small team to raid an old lab, still running Stage 1 trials. They moved like shadows, silent, sharp. They freed 12 captives, some just children, others barely human. One of them, a boy with mechanical lungs, whispered, "Are you real?" She knelt beside him and nodded. We all are now. But war is never one-sided. 2 nights later, Velor struck back. A Remembered safe house was bombed. 9 died. 1 was Subject 11. Rhea found her body under the rubble. Her eyes still open, still kind. She didn't cry. She just stood and stared at the sky. That night, Rhea made a promise. We end this. We find Velor. We burn down every lab. We bury every experiment he ever built. Her voice was quiet, but the universe heard her. Later, during recon, Jox the rogue android returned with news. We found something, he said. Buried deep inside. An asteroid. No name. No ID, but the energy signature matches the Section 13 core. Another lab? Rhea asked. Jax nodded. Bigger. Hidden. We think. That's where he's building the next version. She stood. Then that's where the war ends. Final scene. Inside the secret asteroid lab. Velor stood in a dark chamber, watching as engineers shaped something huge, something not human at all. Metal skin, wings, mind-link nodes. A new creature inside a tube. Growing fast, he touched the glass. Let's see what my real weapon can do. Behind him, rows of clones were waking up. Clones of Rhea, but only one had a name, and she was coming for him. Silence, not the peaceful kind, the kind that comes before war. Rhea stood on the command deck of the stolen warship Echo 9. Behind her, over 100 enhanced humans, the Remembered. Each of them born from pain. Each of them tired of running, each of them ready to end it. In the distance, hidden deep inside a black asteroid, was Wheeler's final lab secret facility known only by one name, Project Eden. A place where Rhea's DNA had been copied, twisted, multiplied, turned into something. Worse, something that wore her face, but not her soul. Rhea looked at the screen. A glowing red dot pulsed at the center. "That's where he is," said Jox, the rogue android. "And that's where he's growing your replacement." She clenched her fists. "Then I'll burn it all inside Project Eden." Wheeler stood before his creation, a clone of Rhea but larger, colder, designed without limits. No emotion. No fear. It opened its eyes, blank, white, empty. "This," Wheeler whispered, "is not a girl, not a rebel. This is a god in human skin." He turned toward the dark monitors. "Let the real Rhea come. Let her see what perfection looks like, right before she dies." Back on Echo 9, minutes before the attack, Rhea walked alone to the viewing chamber. Stars blinked outside the window like silent watchers. Subject 11 was gone. So many were gone. She touched the scar on her wrist where the first needle had gone in. Where this had all started, she whispered, "I was nothing. I begged. I cried. Now they call me a leader. But I didn't want to lead. I just wanted to be free." Behind her, one of the younger remembered stepped forward. "You gave us that, Rhea, even if we don't survive this. You gave us our names back." Rhea turned, her eyes bright. "Then let's make sure no one forgets us again." The attack began. Echo 9 dropped out of stealth mode. Laser turrets from the asteroid opened fire. But the remembered were faster. Drop. Pods launched. Fighters deployed. Jox hacked the defenses mid-flight. Inside the chaos, Rhea landed on the surface with her core team. They fought through drones, auto turrets, and clone soldiers, each one wearing her face, but moving like machines. "He's trying to erase me," she muttered, "but I'm still here." Final chamber, the heart of Eden. Rhea kicked open the vault door. There he was, VELAR.com, smiling, waiting beside the upgraded Rhea clone. "Welcome home," he said. "This was never my home," she growled. He pointed to the clone. "You see her, no pain, no fear. She doesn't question, doesn't cry. She is everything you were too weak to be." Rhea stepped forward. "She's everything I never wanted to become." Wheeler snapped his fingers. The clone moved fast. The two Rheas collided like meteors. Metal against flesh, muscle against mind. One was cold, the other was alive. The battle shook the chamber. The clone moved with perfect speed, but no soul. Rhea, bleeding and bruised, fought with memory. With purpose, she remembered the streets, the doors that closed, the faces that laughed, the ones she saved, the ones she lost. She was not a product. She was proof. Wheeler screamed from behind the glass. "Why do you fight? You could be perfect." Rhea dodged the final strike, grabbed a fallen pipe, slammed it through the clone's core. The copy gasped, flickered, shattered, silence again. But this time, Mitt was peace. Rhea stood over the broken clone. "Perfection is hollow, but I am more than human." She turned to Wheeler, but he was already escaping, coward. Always hiding, but his empire was burning. Later, the remembered stood together on the asteroid's surface. As the lab exploded behind them, gone all of it. Rhea looked at the stars. She didn't want to be a leader, but she had become a legend. Final voice over Rhea's thoughts. "They begged me to stay weak. They punished me for surviving. But I did more than survive. I evolved, not in body, but in will. And when the galaxy tried to erase me, I became the pen. I wrote my name across every world that said, We were nothing. I was the first. I will not be the last. We are more than human.